Hi everyone and welcome to this week's video. Now if you remember rightly, this time last year I was filming away and I was sat in what I can only describe as a gloriously beautiful polytunnel that was looking a lot better than it is now. But even though I have toyed with the idea of not filming this video, I thought, oh, I'll just tidy it and then you guys can see what it looks like when everything's planted up, or I'd show you the planting process. I just thought it wouldn't be real and it wouldn't be fair if I didn't show you the bad that comes with the good of having an allotment. Now, as you can see, this area is my herb garden. It is massively overgrown and needs a huge sort out. The herbs are all doing great. The curry plant here has gone to flower, so I do need to cut that right back, as well as everything else, because it's actually encroaching on the path. But on the whole, the polytunnel is an absolute write-off, and I'm determined that I will get my chilies and my peppers in this year. That are all still sat at home. But yeah, it's really bad. I am going to show you the other end of the polytunnel. I am really ashamed of it, but I just want to show you what can be done with a little bit of effort and a little bit of hard work, and hopefully within the next video or two I'll have restored the polytunnel back to its gorgeous former glory. So stay tuned and I'm going to show you the state of this place. So I'm going to walk you down the polytunnel now, and as you can already see, it is horrendously overgrown. And I know what you're thinking, how on earth are you going to make this look like that lovely polytunnel you had only last June? But I promise you, I will do it. I will hide the fact that the weeds are now up to the ceiling. No joke. There's bindweed in here also, which wasn't here last year. So yeah, really delighted about that. Not get the sarcasm. But I'm going to make a start. I can promise you within 2 videos this polytunnel will be back to its former glory, apart from the ripped windows. Can't do anything about that apart from try and repair them. That was the storms back in January. But as always, the grapevines are doing beautifully. Need a little bit of training, but we can sort that out. But I am determined, absolutely determined, to get this polytunnel back to how it was. So thinking positive. Here's my herb garden as well, totally out of control, absolute mess. But what I'm going to do is stop yapping, get cracking, and I'm going to get this polytunnel back to the state it should be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start down this bottom end first, because in all honesty, why not start with the worst bit? Make some progress, start with the worst, it can only get better, right? So I'm going to start down here, and fingers crossed it starts to look a little bit better by the end of this week's video. Oh, so I'm just going to stop for a minute and catch my breath. As you can see, I am getting there, but it is really, really heavy work. So a breather won't hurt just for a minute. Now, what I'm going to do with the polytunnel this year is pretty much similar as I did last year and the year before. So what I'm going to do is have areas mainly just for peppers and chilies, and then I'm going to have aubergines. I've got a fantastic grapevine growing behind me, which behind you, not behind me because it would be there, behind you, behind the camera, that I will show you a little bit later on, when hopefully I've managed to get the first half of the polytunnel all weeded. So the plans won't change for this year. Obviously I'll have my fig tree as well, and I've got my tomatoes, so everything is pretty much staying the same. I'm toying with the idea of putting some sweet corn in here this year, just as a trial, just to see how it grows, because the temperature in here is so much warmer, and obviously there'll be less pests in here as well. So that's something else I can think about. Sweet corn are the thing that I lose probably the most of every year. I do always seem to have a real battle on my hands when it comes to the sweet corn, so I might try a few in here. I have got enough spare. I did sow them late, so they're not out yet, but they're definitely ready to come out, so I might give it a go. I'll sort of see what space I've got left. But my other plans for the polytunnel are to get the herb garden sorted, as I said earlier on in the video, and just get the whole thing tidied up and feeling fresh and tidy, and yeah, just make the most of it again. It always looks daunting, these sort of jobs, but when you really get your teeth into it, it doesn't take too long at all. So I'm going to carry on for the rest of this video, see how much I can get done, and hopefully the polytunnel will be a 2-episode special, and you'll get to see it all finished and complete next week, which will be really, really exciting. But for now, I'm going to have a quick drink and I'm going to keep going. I might even have to take my jacket off as well, because I'm pretty warm. Okay, and here we are, just an hour or so later. I hope you can see the improvement. We are definitely getting there. This side now looks 10 times worse than when we started. Can you even see where I need to leave? Barely. But I think that's enough for today. Like I said, I think this is going to take 2 sessions. So, yeah, I think I'll leave it there for this episode. So would you say we're halfway there? I'm not quite sure, but it's definitely well on the way. It's nice to have areas now that I can look at and it's ready to be planted. Obviously, I'll put some fertiliser in first and get the ground ready before I just chuck things in. I imagine it's been zapped of nutrients, and yeah, it will need a bit of TLC before I start planting things, but it's a positive start. We can see the ground. I always love videos where people have just taken over allotments and it's really, really bad and really, really weedy. And when you see them turn it around into something amazing, I just think it's great. It's really worth a watch. Though my allotment hasn't been abandoned, but the polytunnel is always the last bit that gets done. So it's fine. I'm happy. Half of it's done. I don't know, like I say, how I'm going to get out of the polytunnel now. A lot of climbing, I think, will need to be done. But yeah, I think we'll call it a day. I'm tired now. That was hard work, actually. It did only take a couple of hours. Probably only took about 5 minutes in the time you will watch it. But yeah, it has been hard work. So next week, like I said, I'm going to finish it. I'm determined. There's a lot less areas to weed next week because this is the majority of the weeded area. It's my storage area at the other end and my herb garden. So there is still loads to do. And hopefully by the end of next week's episode, we'll have one fully functional, ready to go polytunnel, which will be great. But I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I enjoy taking the time to make them. And if you did enjoy it, please do not hesitate to give me a like, leave a comment or subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me over on Facebook and Instagram. I'll leave my links on the screen for you so you can head over there too. But that's it for me this week. Join me back up in the polytunnel again next week and hopefully it'll all be done and dusted. Have a good week, everybody. Stay safe, look after each other, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Bye.